Well, hello again. In the Facebook group that I belong to, the CAS, Clean and Simple Card Making Group, there are such an amazing bunch of crafters. And it must have been yesterday, a lady posted a picture, fabulous card, and she mentioned that it might be the last one she'd do for a while, as she had been diagnosed with cancer and was going to start her treatment and might not feel up to it. And the outpouring of support was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. What a wonderful bunch of people. Anyway, it made me think that today I could share a card that I've made in different guises a few times. The idea was given to me by a lady who had recovered from cancer, and I just thought it was wonderful. And it's this. The sentiment says, friends are like bras, close to your heart and there for support. And the support within this group is wonderful. So this die, I think it's been modified slightly since I purchased this one, is from My Favourite Things. And I just want to show you a couple of things that you can do to make it look different for different looks. So these are the dies that came in this set. I'm not quite sure if they're exactly the same now, but I do believe it has been modified a little. So you get the bra itself, you get a separate die for the cups, and well, there's another one actually. There's a slightly bigger bow as well, but I prefer the small one. So I just proposed today to show you a couple of ways of making it look different. This one, should I say this one, has got, I don't know if you can see that, it's got the cup bits I embossed in an embossing folder, just to give a little sort of lacy texture. So I've got a couple of different ways here. Besides that, that's just a plain emboss. So I'm going to do a couple more. We'll see how we get on. We might be here till Christmas, but I'll try my best. Let's put this out of the way. So this is it's not the one I used on that one, but this is another embossing folder. I'm sure if you look at your stuff, look at your stash, you will find things that you can use. And it's not a question of looking at the whole thing. It's looking at little bits. How can I use small bits? Clean and simple. We don't want great pagefuls of embossing, because then you lose your white space. But you can use details of some of those things to such good effect. So this one is a crafts concept embossing folder, and it's called Budding Vine. Okay, so the first way I want to use this embossing folder is to use a technique that I saw Gina Kay doing. Now, she had some wax paper. Whoops. Now, I live in the UK, and wax paper is not easy to find. We don't find it in the supermarkets like they do in the States. You can get it on Amazon. So this is a real admission. This is a piece of wax paper that came back to the UK with me in 1979. Can you believe? Honestly, talk about hoarding. I haven't used it much, obviously, which is why there's still just a couple of fragments left. But this is waxed on both sides. I think sometimes, I've just tried to order some on Amazon now. I think it might be waxed on one side. I don't know, but I'll wait and see what it's like when it comes. But this is the process. So you put your piece of waxed paper into your embossing folder, and you pop it through your die cutting machine with whatever sandwich fits your specific, that's the wrong thing, your specific machine. Here we go. I discovered something about my die cutting machine yesterday, because it has a slightly thicker base plate. This is a Platinum 6, a slightly thicker base plate than the Cuttlebug. But I discovered yesterday that the plates, the actual cutting plates, are exactly the same thickness. So I was trying to work out how to cut an old Cuttlebug die with my Platinum machine, and I used some magnetic sheets and all sorts. But if I'd just put the whole Cuttlebug sandwich, base plate and everything else in, it would have worked. Anyway, that is digressing. So now here I have an embossed piece of wax paper. And doesn't that look pretty? Can you see it? So pretty. So I'm going to put that between a couple of pieces of card. And this card actually is not textured. You know, very often I use a linen textured card, but this is absolutely flat. So I've put it between two sheets of card, flat card. Was it just an old piece of packaging underneath just to protect? And here I have, not quite as old as the wax paper, but quite old, a travel iron. I used to take it away with me when we went in the caravan. Not that I used to iron much in the caravan, but still. So what you need to do now is, keeping the card very still, is heat. Transfer the heat so that we're melting that wax on the wax paper. I'm just going to very carefully turn it over just to make sure both sides are done, because I can't remember which way up I put the piece of wax paper now. There we go. And I say that far too much as well. There you go, there you go. I'm always saying it. Okay. Now, once you've ironed this, it's really rather pretty, even still, when it's flattened. And I have visions of using that maybe on the top of, I don't know, something like this. Where are we? Do you see? Making a... I don't know. That's another day, but we'll come to that one later. So here, you cannot see it. You cannot see it. So what you have to do, if you get muddled up with which side you've ironed onto and which is the wrong side, all you do is try it on both sides and see which side you're getting a reaction from, and then you'll know if you're right. Okay, here I have got some tumbled glass distress oxide, and I picked this colour because I did find that I had some card which is a really, well, on here it looks a really good match. Whether it'll work out once I've done this, I don't know. If I don't like it against the blue, I can always do it against a white one, but we'll wait and see. So I've chosen an ink to match that card. If I didn't have a matching card, I would probably ink up a piece of plain card with my distress ink so that it would definitely match. Anyway, let's see how we go with this. And I am going to, let's get that out of the way. I am going to just start to colour my piece of card. I did this before with a slightly deeper shade, and it was a bit more obvious, but we'll persevere. We'll keep going, see how we get on. But of course, if you have got double-sided wax, if there's wax on both sides of your waxed paper, you will get two images. You'll get a positive and it's negative on the other side. So if you are using just one-sided wax paper, what you're going to have to do is look at your embossing folder fairly closely and decide which side you want the impression to be. So I don't want you to just be disappointed and get the reverse if you wanted the the front or whatever. So that's one side. I'll show it in detail in a moment. Let's have a look at the other side, see which one has come up a better image. There we go. In a moment or two, I'm going to use a bit of a baby wipe on these, just to wipe off any ink that is just on top of the wax, because the wax will obviously resist the ink, which is why we're getting a pattern in the first place. And here we go. Right. Now, let me hold these up. Can you see? It's very subtle. Now, if I get a baby wipe, if I can get it out of the package, there we go, and just wipe over, you can see how the image pops. Can you see that? There's where I've wiped, there's where I haven't. See? So it shows up quite a lot more. Okie doke. Let's look at this one won't have quite so much effect. Although I don't know, it's doing quite well. How much do I know? Good grief. Oh, that's made quite a difference, hasn't it? There we go. Bits off with a bit of paper towel. There we go. You see? Now, there's some quite interesting bits of pattern on here. I might have to come in a little bit just to see. Now, on here, there are little swirls. Can you see? See that? Little swirls. So the bit I want to cut out of these is the decoration on the cup. So of course I do this and I can't see what I'm doing. So what I've done is this: I've cut one out of a piece of copy paper to make a little window. So that's the way it went there. I think it's symmetrical actually, so I don't think it makes a whole heap of difference if I did it that way or that way. But I can put this over my piece of card, and one of these things actually fits quite nicely just there. But I want, when I think about this piece, I want to be able to get obviously 2 cups out of it, so don't go and choose one that you know, you can't get a second out of. And I think I can get that one there, that one there. Might be able to get that one there as well. Okay. If I'd been a bit less mean and used a bigger sheet of wax paper, I would have had more choice, because I would have had the whole of the embossing folder to choose from. So, where are we? What I need is a cutting plate. And this is the story of my, it's a minute ago. What have I done with it? I've got one. Where's the second? Oh, on the floor. There we go. Talk about being prepared. I was a girl guide, would you believe it? Not doing terribly well today. Let's just put that down there. Okay. I'm going to pop this into the gap and cut it out. There we go. Now I can see whether I like this on the white or on the blue. We'll see. Let's try the blue. I think I may prefer the white. It's not quite the right colour for that even, is it? Well, but when we finish, we'll see. I just cut one more out just to show we can kind of do it out of the one piece. There's the second one that I wanted. Okie dokie. Pop it into the gap. Of course you can't see this, can you? Just let me come back a minute. You see? This is now in the gap. I better just start that again because you couldn't see it. What I did was find the space. There's one of these doodads. Put that over. Die inside in the gap. That's the right place. And cut. There we go. These are mighty sharp, these. Oh, look, I'm bleeding. Oh, my goodness. Gosh, they were sharp. Good grief. Take care, everybody. Don't that over everything. Oh, look at it. A piece of paper towel. Gosh, it was sharp. These are my favourite tweezers. They're fabulous for picking everything up, but the points are so sharp. Stuck the wretched thing into me. Anyway, there we go. Right. See what we think with two in. I don't much care for it in the blue. I don't know about you. Let's try it in the white. If we have a little blue bow, it might look. Let's try the little blue bow. And this can go anywhere, really. A little blue bow. Let's see that. What I may decide to do, in fact, is what I suggested at the beginning, and that is to cut the bra itself from some of the... Let me just do it with this, see if it makes a difference. Let's cut one from here. Will it fit on there? No, I might have to use this one. Let's just cut one of these. I would actually have done it with the plain. There we are. Now that would look better with I think that looks better. I could shape these just slightly with my embossing tool on the back and put a little white bow. Have we got a white bow? Yes, there's one here. It's a bit stark. Oh, crikey. That was a whole bunch of acrylic blocks falling down. Let's just shape these a little bit. What you do is to put a tiny little foam pad in the centre, but glue the edge down, and then you get that. I think that's prettier, don't you? Didn't go with that. Anyway, there we go. That's that. So that's one method out of the way. This is going to take forever. And the next one I want to show you is using the same embossing folder, but this time I am going to ink it. And once you open it up inside, I'm going to ink the flat side, not the side where the twiddly bits are sticking up. This is it's the back, the basis of the embossing folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, I like that one now, I decided. I'm going to use, what do you call these things? A brayer. And I'm just going to ink up. Let me just put a bit of this on first, get a bit of ink on. Actually, I don't think I need my brayer. This looks all right. That looks all right, doesn't it? I think it does. Right, a tiny little, from a great distance, spritz of water. You may wonder what I'm doing, but I'm spritzing from a mile away and then just kind of grabbing it with the embossing folder. Right, here we go. Pop this in. Close it up. Into my die cutting machine. And ooh, it went flying. So there we go, we've got a different effect. We've got the background blue and the fancy pattern in relief in white, uncoloured. I'll give that a better clean later on. So now what we need to do is, do you know, I've done this wrong. I have done this the wrong way round. Not thinking that's sticking my finger. What I should have done is this. What I really should have done was this. I should have cut my two of these. Don't get old, I tell you. Get things in a pickle. Right, there's my 2 cups. Now what you do is ink your, that'll come in for something else. I won't waste it. Now you ink your embossing folder. There we go. There we are. Next thing you do is this. You have to place these where you want, look at me getting in a pickle, your design to come onto. Those were the 2 I used, I believe. There we are. If you wanted to, again, you could do this. If you weren't sure what you're seeing, do that. Put this back in. And away. But those marks shouldn't matter because it's going to be on the blue side. Ooh. This is quite a tight sandwich with the embossing in the Platinum 6. Hold on to it this time. There we go. So now here are my 2 cups. If I had tried to cut out after I had coloured that other one, obviously I would have had flattened impressions, which is what I don't want. I will wash that later. Now we can choose whether we like it to go into a deep blue, which actually I think that one looks quite nice. Here we are. So, do you know, I think I'm going to call it a day. We've had a few incidents this morning, haven't we? So, making a card in support of people with cancer. Just a fun sentiment, but quite meaningful, really. Friends are like bras, close to your heart and there for support. And it's wonderful that so many people are supporting others. It's really wonderful. So as ever, thank you so much for watching, and do try some of these techniques because they are fun. Thank you.